Hey, Star Wars fans, how's it going? My name is John. Thank you so much for tuning in, and thank you for subscribing and turning on those notifications. I appreciate that. This video, I want to talk about the Droid Depot. I went to Galaxy's Edge for the first time recently out in Disneyland. It also opened up recently in Disney World, Walt Disney World in Florida. And really first time experiencing this part of the theme park. Really excited about the whole Star Wars themed idea, of course. And one thing I heard about before I got there was you have to check out the Droid Depot. The Droid Depot is an area where you can actually build your own droid, hence these two in front of me. These are both turned on right now. You can see randomly they kind of act, and depending on if they're by other droids, they'll kind of start interacting with other droids. Even around the park itself, when you're walking through Galaxy's Edge, if you have them turned on, they'll start reacting, whether they be scared or bad or, you know, happy, sad, etc. So the Droid Depot, very cool. It's an experience I definitely recommend checking out if you're there at Star Wars, at Disneyland, and at Galaxy's Edge. The one thing I will say though, it's not cheap. They also have an experience where you can build your own lightsaber, and that to build your own lightsaber, they have the cyber crystals and all the whole experience, the hilt, all that. That's over $200 to do that. So I didn't end up doing that. It was my twins. They just turned 6 at the time. I decided to get them each a droid. These are the droids that they built. So this is one from one of my sons, and this is the other one for the other. And so that's really cool. So it was cool to experience that. I wish we had this experience when I was a kid because it was really cool. So the way how it was set up, you walk in, they have conveyor belt. They have, oh, there, he's moving. They have a conveyor belt with all these different parts of the droid, and you can either have your choice of either building an R2 unit here or a BB-8, like a BB unit here. To build them, it's $100. So certainly less expensive than the custom lightsaber, but it's still pretty expensive. So it ended up costing me $100, $200 total for each of them. Fortunately, Grandma and Grandpa helped out a little bit for their birthday, so that was I'm thankful for that. But what's cool is you pick up all the parts. You pick up the legs. You know, you can see this one has a leg. It's kind of off color. That's because my son decided to choose a different color. You pick the head comes off, obviously, and then you actually literally you go back to the station. You put it in like a basket. Really cool experience. You go back and then you have to like drill them in. You have to like screw them in with a power screwdriver, the legs. With the BB unit, I was with my son doing that. My wife was with my other son doing this one. And this comes apart. I'll take this out. There's a magnet holding this on here. This comes apart. I'll show you. And this is kind of the motor for it. And you pick up these little parts here. Pretty cool. The thing is about these BB units is you have to turn them on and off. And to do that, you have to kind of take it apart like this. Much easier to handle this. And I feel like the R2 units handle a little bit better as far as controls goes. And what they do basically, and this will just pop right down like that. And the controls, what they do is they dock it and they sync it up to your droid specifically, which is awesome. So it's not going to cross radio lengths or whatever. It does come with some batteries, but I did notice that the batteries that came with the units, they ended up dying that night. So they're not very powerful. So we ended up charging them. I believe they're like trip AA batteries. So just keep that in mind. I'm not quite sure how long the battery life lasts on these things. So both the controller and the droids themselves take batteries. Funny story about when I got one of these. Kind of funny story, and I'm embarrassed to share this, but we ended up picking these up later towards the end of the day. But otherwise, you have to carry these, right? So we ended up getting these around like 7 o'clock that night. Later on that night, we had to go into Splash Mountain. I was carrying these around. I had nowhere to put these. They don't let you leave them outside the ride because you basically end Splash Mountain. Basically they won't let you leave it behind. You have to take it with you. So I let the person know that, and she said, "Oh, get in the back of the boat," because I was worried about them getting wet, right? So sure enough, there was some room in the back, a little wider space in the back of the wooden boat, and I ended up putting in the box one of these cases here. This is cardboard, behind, you know, next to me, and the other one I had a plastic bag for. That was okay, but the one I had to put next to me, I'm like, oh, it won't get wet, and I try to cover the plastic bag over this, trying to do my best I can, not get wet. Little did I know that there was actually a ½ inch of water on the bottom. So when I was done the ride, the water did get soaked, and this thing actually got soaked to the bottom. And the droid ended up falling through, which was really embarrassing. We ended up fortunate that, as you can see, the droids were not affected by that, which is great. But I ended up going back to where I purchased this, and they ended up giving me a new box nonetheless. So I explained what happened, and the other box was just a mess. So that's really cool. You can purchase a bag as well, which is like custom. You can put the droid bag in there. It's $50. They do have personality chips as well. You can purchase for $15 in addition. Of course, it's plus with Disney. You have to always, you know, extra money here. But apparently the chip, You add the chip, it gives it personality. You can either do like a bad personality, like an evil droid, or a good droid. I'm not quite sure the differences between the two. Maybe it's the way they sound. But let me put these down here. I'm going to show you how these work. We'll do the BB-8 one first. Okay, so these buttons here, these red buttons here, make it talk. You can hear it. The other red button here makes it turn around, like spin like that, which is pretty sweet. You can go forward. You can also go backwards. And try and have a little bit of space here. Left or right. So pretty cool controls. The head also spins, which is pretty rad. Yeah, overall, this one's pretty cool. The R2 unit definitely moves a little easier. This one goes a little fast, but nonetheless, pretty awesome. So if you're a BB fan, definitely something to build. They have different tops. You can get like a square BB droid top as well, different ones. There's hundreds of combinations, different colors, etc. that you can add on here. I believe my son named it BB6, or no, it was like, he named it, what did he name it? I'm trying to think. LP6. So Luke is his name, P is for Patrick, his middle name, and then 6 is his age. So LP6, this isn't his droid that he named it. It was pretty awesome. This one is R2M6. R2M is Mark, my other son, 6 is age. And we'll make sure this is on. Oh, he's on. You can turn his head by hitting this button here. Make him talk. Rotate his head, which is sweet. Left, right. Forward, back. So yeah, pretty sweet. Definitely a cool toy, definitely a cool collector's item. And the thing that's kind of unique about this is the fact that there's literally hundreds of combinations you can do of these, right? So there's different colors. Similar to the BB unit, you do the square. You can do like a R5 unit. You can do different droid units, different colors. My son initially wanted just to rebuild R2-D2, and I kind of said, hey, let's make something more unique. This is definitely unique. You can do different legs. Really cool. And of course, people are there to help you. They have a lot of cool, unique toys that are kind of exclusive to the Droid Depot area as well. Definitely an experience I recommend checking out. They do have like an R2, actual life-size R2 unit you can purchase, a life-size one that's remote control. $25,000 to purchase that. So definitely out of my price range, but if you have that money and you're interested to get a life-size R2 unit yourself, maybe that's something you may want to consider getting. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching, guys. We'll see you guys soon, and may the force be with you always. So basic controls, you have your up, forward, back. Oh.